good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to episode, I don't know, 5 or 6. I don't even, I've lost track of
Five.
Alien 5, is it? It's 5. Alien DNA with Azria, the Pink Lady, and Oracle Lady D. Oh, yeah, it says episode number 5 right up there. That would help if I read, since I'm looking at my title. So, welcome everybody. We were supposed to be on Sunday, and Azria did not feel well. And so, we don't like to do shows when we don't feel well. So we want to give you 100% and be our best. So we decided to reschedule till today. So for all of you that are interested and want to get your alien DNA done for Sunday, in the description of the show, there's a link. You go underneath here and there's a link and you click on the link and there's all the directions on how to get your alien DNA done for Sunday. We're going to be on this Sunday. And the reason why we do it that way is because it takes a little while. What was happening before is that we were doing the show on the same day and it takes a little while. Azria takes about, I don't know, about a half hour to 45 minutes to do each person's
Perfect.
DNA. So it takes a little bit. So that's why we decided we're going to do the show and people order ahead of time, and then we'll do the reveal on the following Sunday. Now, if you do decide in the replay, people watch the show over the week. If you're watching the show towards the end of the week, what you can do is just make sure that you get your alien DNA done by at the latest Friday, okay? Because we're going to have a show on Sunday. So um, Azria will cut it off on Friday because she needs a few days to make sure that she gets everyone's DNA done. Right, Azria?
Perfect. No, that's brilliant, Dee. Thanks very much. Absolutely. Because it just, I want to make sure that, there is that time. So, and indeed, working with AI to get these hopefully beautiful images across to, ready for the show as well. So there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes here too. So if you could, guys, that will be fantastic.
Fabulous. And welcome to everyone in the chat. Special shout out to Tia Bean, who's in the chat. Hello, Tia Bean. Hugs and kisses from across the pond. You're across the pond, Azria, but I'm across the pond from her.
Yes.
All right. Well, without further ado, do I have any announcements? I'll be going on and doing a psychic live, probably either tomorrow night or Friday night, depending on how I feel. So I'll probably do one either tomorrow or Friday, depending how I feel. Yes, you can request a DNA on behalf of your husband, as long as you know your husband's name and date of birth. Yeah, you can. No, this is
Yep,
yeah.
and that you have his permission, so that when I go in and actually do the read as well, we don't normally do them if like people don't know about them at all, because it then affects sometimes the reading as well, because we do need to ensure that as people know with any energy work, that person has given their acceptance. Otherwise, when I get to that toroidal field, I won't be allowed in, no matter how hard I knock on the door. So there does need to be that level of acceptance as well, because I have had people in the past go, "Oh yeah, can you do it for this person and that person?" And as much as you probably want to, we do need to be careful with that as well. So as long as he's given full permission, and then as Dee was saying, that you have his full name at birth, and date of birth there as well, then happy to do that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And hello, Lula Bell from across the pond. Everyone in the chat, giving everyone a big love that's in the chat. All right. So without any further ado, I guess we will do the reveals. So let me bring up all of my. Oh, I had everything open, and now, of course, it's not open. Of course. Oh, here we go. They are open. I lied. They are open. I have, if it was, I have like a million,
Technology.
I have technology. I have a million screens. Well, I have 2 screens and I have a million links and tabs open. All right. So the first one is Betty, and she is born in 1948, and it's an unknown where she's born, but it's Betty, 1948. And I'm going to bring up the image for Miss Betty. I'm going to share it.
So thank you so much. And I've just been seeing in the chat, thank you for all the wonderful notes. I am feeling so much better. So thank you everyone for your patience as well. It's just, as Dee was saying, I was just a bit too tired, but burning candles at both ends and things. So yeah, working really, really hard. So I just wanted to say thank you for all the notes in the chat there. And yeah, certainly I did start off with the wonderful Betty's reading here. So on this one we do have, it's really interesting that we did have we did have felines, but we also have the Lemurians as well. They both came in very, very strongly. And one of the things that I've got through strongly for yourself, Betty, is, have you been known by another name? Or is kind of like Betty a nickname or something? Because I've also got that there's kind of very much 2 sides to you, and kind of like there's, I'm not going to say like the fun side and the naughty side, but certainly kind of there are both of these behaviors and personalities that are coming through here. And what I really wanted to say around the felines in particular is that there is that nurturing, and they do have a very nurturing side. And I've got a feeling as well that most, if not all of your life, you have had that wonderful spiritual energetic connection, because with the felines, the psychic gifts are kind of at their peak. Another thing I wanted to say is, especially around that year of birth as well, because that was really, if we're looking at star seeds in particular, was the first wave. So the first wave of starseeds were really here to kind of like come onto the planet and really start making those changes, really start pushing those through. Because remember, the starseeds really started to come down around kind of like that 1940s period. So on one side, you've kind of got that very nurturing, but on the other, that's where I feel the Lemurians coming in. I've got the fact that Lemurian frequency kind of came in a lot later. And the reason it came in a lot later is because not only were you ready for it, but I also kind of want to, I almost kind of want to say that you kind of didn't need to keep fighting anymore. That was where more of kind of like that, where we've got like the loving and the nurturing. This was kind of, if I say to you, are you a scholar? So a scholar is somebody who is always learning, but is always teaching at the same time. And I really hope that this is making sense to you, Betty. And for all the readings that we're doing today, if you could please give us some feedback here, guys, it would really mean a lot. But not to say that everyone's going to have 2 coming through, but certainly for Betty, I kind of got this 2 kind of personalities and 2 very strong frequencies coming through at the same time as well. Also, I just want to say one other thing is, I think you can be quite chic, and I'm going to use that word in particular because you know how cats move, they don't necessarily walk, they sort of glide, and I've got a feeling you've got that type of energy about you, both with the Lemurians and with the felines as well. But anyway, Thank you so much for letting me read for you, Betty. Oh, you're on mute, Dee.
Sorry. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Sorry. I always forget that I'm on mute. Cats have 9 lives too. Does that mean that Betty has 9 lives?
Possible. We all go through, yes, many different phases of life, should we say.
And they definitely they move very slink. Very slink.
Yes.
They are very slinky and they do glide. Yep. Kitty cats. Got to love them. Okay, the next one is Danielle, 1981, Santa Cruz, California. So this is Danielle, 1981, Santa Cruz, California, and ooh, looks like that looks like a Palladian to me, but I could be wrong. Let me see.
Yeah, so that one was for our wonderful Betty. So it'll be the one underneath, lovely, which will be
Betty was a Palladian too. Okay, sorry, Betty. So you have this is you too, Betty. So we allow. This is you,
so
Betty.
she was the feline and the Lumerian. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's the Lumerian. Sorry, the Lumerians kind of look like the Palladians.
It's my AI images. I try my best. So yeah, people see them in different ways, and as I was saying in the last show, is we're seeing more and more of the different races as well, because within the Pleiadians, within the Numerians, within the Atlanteans, within all of these, it's not just one look. It's almost the same. Humans are only have one look, but there's Asians, there's Africans, there's Chinese, there's all of these different kinds of races, and it's the same within our star families as well. So where they may come across to one person in a particular way, it's not to say that's absolutely wrong that somebody sees them slightly differently. So, and that's not just me kind of getting away from my AI images, because this is the way that I very much see these beings as well. And I'm getting a little bit better with the images, I hope.
Beautiful. She's beautiful.
Oh, the next one doesn't come up.
There we go.
Oh no, we're missing one. Oh God, I'm really sorry. For some reason,
all right,
look,
hold on.
it's just
It's
like a blank page.
You know what? That's because I was doing like this. I'll do them from. Here we go. No, that was me. I'm going to do it different. Here we go. What I did is that I copied and pasted them and I put them in a Word doc, and that's not working well. So I'm going to do it just like this.
Okay.
Here we go.
No worries.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you, Dee. That's fantastic. It's just getting used to all this technology. That's all this is.
I tried to do it a little different.
So these guys are wonderful. So these are known as the Vegans. And when we're referring to them, we're kind of talking about beings that they kind of come from the Lyra star cluster. They're beings that work on the quantum level. But one of the things I wanted to say with Daniela is I offer you to start utilizing those healing abilities, especially along with the interdimensional communication as well, because there is a lot of wisdom held within vibrational healing. So I don't know if there's something that you do with music, or music has certainly been a big part of your life in one way or another, or even to the point of that there are particular songs that literally the second you hear them have a reaction to them. Another thing I'd like to say with yourself, lovely, is let's say I think that's the main message to come through is because as soon as I was sort of tuning in, it was almost as though I kind of felt this vibration. I mean, I've got vibrational tinnitus anyway. So sometimes rather than getting those loud squeaky noises like you do with tinnitus, mine, I get a slight vibration. And this was kind of, I thought that was kind of like coming back online because I could just feel this. It's almost as though the room was starting to move a little bit. Also, with these guys as well, is they are very aware, and I think this is becoming more and more apparent to you, is the sacred geometry. And that we could do a whole program on just within itself. But where I'm referring to you, I don't know if you like going out walking or looking at maps or even dowsing maps. So I don't have mine around me at the moment, surprisingly, because it's always never too far away. But a pendulum and starting to work with all the different grid lines and ley lines. Maybe like architecture is something that's always sort of been drawn to you in one way, shape, or form. Because as I said, with these guys, it's all about the surroundings as well. So what's going on with not necessarily, as we were saying before, with kind of like the emotion side of it, but the vibrations, the frequencies, and that sacred geometry. I hope that makes sense, and please do let us know.
Is it just it's just the vegan for this one? Is there another picture?
Yes.
Just the
Yeah. Unfortunately,
okay.
no. Only one came through for our Daniela. Absolutely. I think we've got somebody else a little bit further down, if I remember rightly, had to come up, but no, we've got most people, there was only one very, very dominant DNA that was coming through today.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, the next one is Ladybug Blue. Ladybug Blue, 1963, Pueblo, Colorado. So this is Ladybug Blue, 1963, Pueblo, Colorado. And it looks like she is the Lumerian.
Oh, that's my pictures again. So these ones are the Atlanteans.
Oh, sorry, this is the Atlanteans again. Okay, I'll make sure that I have the right picture. I think I'm going in order, but okay. So is that the right picture? That was the last one, and so this was the next one.
Yeah,
should I go
that
one
was
more?
the next
Okay.
one.
Okay.
So with these guys, one of the things that I really wanted to pick up with Ladybug Blue is really around stability. Because remember, the Atlanteans kind of came in and started really sort of building not necessarily their own settlement, but there was various settlements across the globe. Obviously, back then, all of the continents were together and they could walk in between a few more. But with yourself, you love that. You very much look and honor that stability and very much sort of focus in on that and find it as a little bit of a driver. Also, with that as well, I've got, how can I put this? Inspiring others. I don't know what it is you do as a career or anything. Maybe you're looking at going into a new career. But again, they were the ones that came down and really started to build, and as I said, build on those communities. So it really started to impact on all the other races, impact on what else was going on the earth as well. So that's why I kind of welcome you a little bit to look maybe at what you're doing, or maybe the career that you're in, because I do feel as though you're a very, very strong person who does inspire others and probably inspires others without even thinking about it, which is absolutely wonderful. Another thing I'd like to say as well is that you do have that really, really strong ability to balance both the cosmic, what I call like the cosmic and the organic. Because remember, look at the places that they were living. So it was kind of like where there was lots of water and where there wasn't. But they always had that connection to the stars. So you do and can. So it's not one or the other. Because some people, oh no, I just look at the stars, focus on the stars. Or no, I'm very pagan, very Wiccan, I'm very much connected and honor the earth. Both of those are fantastic. But you are allowed to have both. You are allowed to have that balance. So I hope that helps. Thank you.
Really, really nice. That is such a beautiful picture. Such a beautiful, beautiful picture. All righty, let's go back to the email. And let's see. Okay, so the next one is we have Jess. Jess is 1979, New Hampshire, United States. Jess, 1979, New Hampshire, and the United States. And let me share my screen.
So this beautiful lady, we did again have another 2 that came up. And she is a fellow mermaid, you're pleased to hear, Dee. She's definitely a fellow mermaid there as well.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
So, and again another feline, which is always wonderful. So with that mermaid energy, I just want to pick up on one other thing before I go into it. Actually, you do use your intuitive powers more than you actually think, and do find comfort in pursuing your spiritual path. You have a strong sense of fairness and justice and enjoy living happily in a routine and orderly manner. And one reason why I say that is because when we're looking at the felines in particular, I'll come back onto the mermaids in a minute. But I didn't quite pick up on what race exactly with the felines, because remember, this is only at a very, very high level. But if we're looking at more of, say, I want to say like the military races, there's a different word in there I'm probably looking for. But that is quite strategic. And I think with you as well, there is that really nice, and I'm going to go back to the word balance here, because even though the felines are very much kind of like that divine feminine orientated, you do have that very nice balance of that masculine and feminine, because with the masculine, it is more of the strategic planning, logistical side. So I really hope that makes sense to you as well. So, but just going back to the mermaids for a second, or going on to the mermaids, shall we say? I wanted to just pick up on a couple of bits which I found very interesting looking back at them again, because it's not a being that I'm too familiar with. As I said, I one of the first times was, or second time they came up was with Dee and with another wonderful client of mine before, because we do have mermaids that come from 2 different races as well. You've got the ones that come from Sirius, but then you also have the Lemurian ones, and I wasn't able to pick up on exactly which one we're referring to here. So I kind of want to go, my gut is telling me more of the Sirius B, but I think the most important thing here, because as I said, we are focusing on quite a high level, and it's really interesting that we had the felines before, because I would start looking at the cycles in life, especially around the moon as well, because remember, when they are looking at being in the sea and things like that, the tides, the moons, the currents, and all that type of stuff has a huge impact. And I think that's where, I'm not saying that you've maybe lost that flow, but I think that'll be a very, very easy for you to start picking up on that again as well. And then one other thing that we can pick up here as well. I mean, there is obviously the connection to the water. So I always, I said, when we do get anyone from like Sirius B, is that link with water? Because water is one of the purest forms of consciousness as well. And even if we do water with a little bit of juice in it, it's still water. So I welcome you to start working with water a little bit more, even if it's writing a lovely word on the side of your glass before you drink it, or setting that intention into the water. So we could again go into a whole other show around the properties and the abilities and the healing abilities of using that water even more so. And what I think also, I'm going to ask a question here, and you can either answer it in the chat or not if you're there. But I think you see the beauty in everything, and that's gorgeous. That is a really, really lovely thing to say. And I'm being interrupted for a second, because the one thing I haven't pointed out yet, which I'm being told off for, is, and this doesn't necessarily pertain just to yourself, I think it was Jess, sorry, is when I just wanted to invite our audience into this little bit of useful information that has come up during these readings over the past few years, which I find quite fascinating myself, being neurodiverse, is that when you do get two dominant DNAs that come from two very different planets, i.e. one that, or who live in, two different very different places. So the mermaids are very much in the water, where felines are on the earth. Another one which would be very interesting is, say, like the amphibians. So if you get an amphibian and an avian, so again, more water-based and in the air, it is highly likely, and I don't always ask the question because it's not always the right question to ask, but my clients have told me, if indeed this has been mentioned, that they are on the spectrum somewhere. So whether it be autism, ADHD, dyslexia, whatever, because their being and their person is still, even on this planet, trying to understand how that other part of them lives. So say like with, hopefully I'm explaining myself correctly here, but it really comes down to, so for example, where those sensitivities come from. So where there might be like these bright lights, for example. I mean, if you spent most of your time kind of in water, you're not necessarily going to get those really bright lights, for an example. So I found it absolutely fascinating with the clients who have very kindly shared that personal information with me. And again, Jess, I'm not saying this is directly for you, lovely, but it's just something that I was being reminded to mention, is that when we have those very, very strong frequencies of those two very different beings, that could sometimes be the case. So hopefully that's quite interesting for everyone, because that's certainly been an interesting discovery for myself, shall we say. And the last thing I just want to come back to with mermaids as well, and I really welcome Dee your input on this, if I may, with the mermaids as well. But for Jess in particular, it's those emotions. Just be a bit careful, because you are that little bit more sensitive as well. I hope that helps. Thank you.
I can attest as to the emotions of a mermaid. We have, like water, right? Very, very emotional, and they come in tides. They come. Sometimes they come in waves, really big waves. Sometimes they come in little ripples. They always kind of go back into the sea, but yeah, the emotions of being a mermaid off the charts. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Not always easy, that's for sure. It's like I said, not always easy. You know, if everyone that's watching the show has a little bit of psychic ability, right? We're all psychic to one
Yeah.
degree or another. Some people are
Yeah.
just more psychic than others, and some people have different psychic gifts than others. But yeah, those that are intuitive empaths or are awake or have some sort of psychic ability and they're in touch with their, let's say, their spiritual side, 9 times out of 10, we're going to be emotional. Not easy, but it is what it is. All right, here we go. We have Tracy, 1975 and Texas, USA. So Tracy, 1975 and Texas, USA. And I'm going to share my screen.
Thank you, Dee. So,
Mhm.
Tracy, I got Pleiadian through very, very strongly with yourself, and I hope that if you are watching, that I hope that really aligns with you. I've got that you should. My voice has suddenly gone all croaky again, and it did at the time of tuning in. Maybe just have a look at that throat chakra a little bit. Sorry, it has gone very croaky. Excuse me. So, but this is a little bit similar to the one before. So, the ability to notice small details and your no nonsense way of speaking. And again, it's going croaky as I'm saying speaking, because I think your no nonsense way hasn't always been heard, but it will. Tune again. I welcome you to tune in to these Pleiadian energies again. Pulling that down in order to push it out. Because the way in which you do explain things and the way in which you do see it's clearing, as I push that energy through, it started clearing automatically. Okay, so because sometimes you do get to the point really, really quickly because you know it goes like each step of the way. Okay, that came out from somewhere. But others kind of like to take the whole journey where you're like, no, it's X, Y, and Z. See, it's going croaky again now. Other things I'd like to say is we're looking at, say, a signature of light. You do have, I said, that essence in there. And I really do want to say, you don't have to keep struggling. It is there and it will be welcome more and more. And the reason I'm saying this, or the reason they're saying this, is Pleiadian, Atlantean, feline, and there's one other, and I'm not telling me off the top of my head, are the frequencies and the DNAs that have been activated across the earth over these past few years, even more so. But again, as that arises on the earth, if we have that in us, that is automatically going to start reacting to that. So those are the DNAs that have really kind of come on board recently. So, and that is why we're picking up more and more of these as well. Another thing in which I'd like to draw your attention to is I believe you like community. And being on your own is sometimes fine, but it's having the right community around you. And I think maybe you're realizing that actually maybe not everybody has that same vibe as you, and that's okay. Because as those frequencies and as those DNAs are really starting to come online, and this is for everyone, and I always say this at the beginning, if these align with you, if this information that I'm passing on to you feels right, you are then welcome within your free will to start tuning into it yourself and to say you welcome and would like to start working with, for example, your Pleiadian frequencies and star families. Because when we are talking about these frequencies, these are the beings that we have been and still are in contact with. Okay, now I haven't gone into each of the star seeds, i.e. your birth year, to see what the actual star seed is, and maybe we can start doing that in further episodes. But in order to utilize these gifts and abilities even more so, we do need to remember that there is an element of free will. So if this information that I'm passing on this evening aligns with you, feels right for you, then I welcome you to pull in those connections even stronger. One last thing that I'd like to just say with regards to the Pleiadians. Your intuition has always been very, very strong. It's kind of almost like being on a slightly heightened platform. I don't think I've ever said that before. But just make sure that it's balanced. So where do you feel that intuition? How do you feel it? I hope that helps. Thank you.
I love her hair. I want that hair length.
I know. I'm so jealous of some of these. They got the other really nice hair, and I certainly need to be doing mine again soon. It's not pink enough for me. It needs to be a bit more pink.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining about my hair, but it only grows to a certain length. Feels like it doesn't grow. I want it to be long, even though it's long. I want it to be longer. You know how it is. All right, so we have Supriana. What a pretty name. Supriana, 1982, Indonesia is the next one. So Supriana, 1982, Indonesia. Ooh, very cool. All right.
So again, we have two, and thank you so much. For everybody for giving me the opportunity to read you. But
this one first.
For you, I had you did mention in your comments around the dragons, and they came through in force, in absolute force. But I just wanted to point out that it's the natural dragon, the earth-based dragon, because the elementals were there as well, and they do work hand in hand. They very, very much work hand in hand. And with yourself as well is it was actually quite undescribable, and I'm actually going to start tearing up because the energy of this unconditional love that I felt was overpowering. It's kind of a little bit coming back to me now. That's why it was so getting all tingly. Was so incredibly overpowering. So I really do feel that the relationship Now, and please excuse me, I do not know the culture that much at all. But I don't know if dragons hold a particular importance within the Indonesian culture. But as I said, my apologies, I don't know it too well, but I really wish to find out more. But in some history books, they're kind of seen as a negative. In some myths, they're seen as a mythological creature that have never actually really existed. But I think, or really truly believe, with that level of, and I really want to use the word unconditional love that came through, that not only do you have that heart, that dragon that's wrapped around your heart, but there's also that earth dragon that works with you and those elementals. Because remember, the elementals kind of use the earth dragons as a bit of a, I don't know, like an aeroplane type thing, and help to sort of be placed as and where. Also, I wanted to bring up the fact that they're hardworking. They never actually stop working. That's what I said, maybe being like an aeroplane for the elementals. That within that unconditional love, that there is a love and acceptance and a respect for our animals. And I think you can pretty much communicate with them very, very well. Because being that earth type energy, there's an understanding, there's a frequency there. And similar as we were saying before, they are grid workers. So I think we had, and that's come up a couple of times. So I really do think that even though there's loads more abilities, there's loads more behaviors within all of these beings, these are the ones that really have come through in the transmissions for these individuals. And for some reason, I'm just kind of getting that there's a really an overall note with a few of these beings, just within these 7 people that I've read for over the past week, is really tuning into those grid lines, those ley lines, those geometric patterns. Because I think, again, in Indonesia, I think what I'm being told, there's some mountainous areas where there are still dragons that lie. Now, I'm going to really have a good research time after this, and hopefully I might even come back to you guys next week, because my spidey sense is tingling now. But I do welcome you to start tuning into those energy lines and see what you can pick up, see what you can feel, because as the dragons work with them, if you start working with them, that will just tighten and tighten and tighten that connection, because it's almost as though you're both on the same train. See what I mean? You'll both be on the same train. You'll both be on the same path. I mean, on a bit of a funny note, I can kind of say that they're stubborn, but I think you can say that for a lot of people. Where you get the hard work, you kind of get the stubbornness to kind of get the job done at the same time. I don't know why that was so important, but clearly they wanted me to let you know about that. They do have a little bit of a funny sense of humor sometimes. But I think some people do see your stubbornness as a little bit of a challenge. So put a bit of humor behind it, because, again, with the elementals, they're mischievous. They can be a bit naughty sometimes. And we know from being in the forest, Sadie, is that especially if you go and put down little sweets, those sweets certainly disappear very quickly. And just 1 or 2 points around the elementals as well. I kind of want to bring in that earth warrior. always being aware of what is happening with and on the earth too. Maybe being more of like eating more organic or whatever the case may be. But bring in that joy and happiness just a little bit more, and you'll see the changes. Hope that helps.
Well, I don't have to tell you, we have a special fondness for the elementals for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yes, there's also some amazing ones in the forest. And a dragon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw another, I apologize, folks. I still, I've been doing my own fairy runs here in Massachusetts, and I went a few weeks ago, and I still have many pictures. I just have to put it all together and do a show. When I get the energy, I shall be doing that, because I definitely, as I said, I took one picture, and just that one picture, that one still shot that I sent to you. That was from one picture the other day. Oh, I have fairies. I have, what was that one?
You've got dwarfs in there as well. So
dwarf.
you've got
I had
fairies, you've
dwarf.
got dwarfs. You might even have a pixie.
Yeah, pixie and
it was
all kinds of
incredible.
things. Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could even see like the first time, literally a face. It's very square, wasn't it? Very square face. But what do they call them? The features were just
Yeah. I might even
I
show them
can't
at
wait
the
for
end
you
here.
to share it with the audience. They were incredible. And thank you for sharing with me. It was as clear as day. So they are starting to show themselves more, guys. So go out into the forest. Ask. Say, I'm here. I'd like to see you. Because they're there.
Actually, when ASRIA is doing this, I'll send these to my email and I'll share them with you guys, since we have the last one here. I'll share them with you. So the last one we have is Lara, 1966 in Ontario, Canada. So Lara, 1966, Ontario, Canada. Ooh, very beautiful. And I'm going to share my screen. And while she's doing that, I'll send those pics to myself so you guys can see the elemental pics I was talking about with ASRIA.
Wonderful. So we do have a Lemurian here. And again, it's being very much concerned about others. Excuse me. I've also got that you may be like being thrust into a leadership position, because with these guys, when off planet, they're quite kind of I want to say like relaxed, laid back kind of thing. But for yourself, there is kind of, I don't know if you have been forced into a position where it's kind of like, no, I'm just here to take care of who I need to take care of. There is a lot of harmony, a lot of creativity, a lot of self-expression. Excuse me again, lots of reactions today. And also, again, we are talking about that love and the unity. I also, with you in particular, there is that emphasis of balancing technology with spirituality to involve the consciousness without harmonizing the planet. Does that mean anything to you? I'd be really, really interested, because these are the types of beings that do exactly that. So it's bringing in the technology, but without affecting the organic and natural world around us. Their teachings very much are focused on the collective well-being and interconnectedness of life. So this is what we were saying before with that harmonization. And then I think the last thing I really wanted to say with these guys as well is more around color. Sorry, I was just getting clarity there. Be very aware of the frequency of color. because I really feel that has quite an impact on your own soul and your own vibration. I mean, clearly mine's pink, but I think maybe yours could be a little bit more of a bluey yellow, kind of like the colors at the top of this image here that really help harmonize. Because within that harmonization and that relaxation, you kind of look for, I don't know, external influences, but for yourself, it's color. Because everything does have its own vibration and frequency, but with the Lumerians, a lot of it does come down to that, and it's the different shades. So maybe have like a color chart that goes from darker all the way down to actually the opposite way, dark, and then goes lighter. Or for some reason, I'm getting a lava lamp. I'm just thinking, what was the date of birth there? Am I talking? Oh yeah, you'll know what one of them is. A lava lamp. Kind of, you know, the big blobs that kind of go up, and it's like really those nice colors. Welcoming to get one of those, and I think that'll definitely help. Anyway, don't know where I got lava lamps from, but that's what they were telling me, so that's what I was going to pass on. Anyway, I hope that's been of help. And I'd just like to say one other thing for everyone who has had a reading today, that I will be emailing you all out a discount code for my returning client on my website. So please feel free, if you do have any further questions, or you would like to know a little bit more, or even to come and have a chat, there will be a 25% discount code I'll email out to you via your Buy Me a Coffee page. So I'm finding that there's a lot of information that I'm providing within these 5, 10, 15-minute readings. And so if you would like to, I said, take the question further or find out a little bit more, within the next hour or two after the show, I will be popping in your Buy Me a Coffees the discount code. So look out for that. And anyone else who wants to purchase a reading ready for the show on Sunday will also get the same as well. So please don't feel that, oh, now I've had all this information, what do I do with it? Or, oh, I've got a few other questions, but I don't really know who to ask or where to ask. I just wanted to give everyone that opportunity to come and see me, and we'll see what else is transmitted down. So I look forward to hopefully meeting a few of you afterwards as well. So keep an eye out in your Buy Me a Coffee inboxes, please. Thank you.
Beautiful. Definitely. So if you are interested in getting a reading, getting a level 1 mini alien DNA reading with ASRIA, in the description of this video, I have a link. It says for Sunday's show. Click on that link. You need to have it in by Friday at the latest, because ASRIA needs a few days to get these done. There's nothing that we can do right off the bat. I should say we, ASRIA, because I don't do them. So, all right, I have a few things to we'll leave the show with a couple of pictures. I do have a video from a few years ago of a blue orb. Okay, I didn't know what it was at the time. What had happened was I went out to take a picture of the full moon, and by mistake I took a video. And this is definitely an orb. Okay, I'm going to try to do it as very, very slow as I can. I didn't know who or what it was at the time, but I have a feeling that it is a very special Andromedan. If you can see that, I'm trying to make it so you can see the whole thing. This stupid thing comes in the middle, but you see that orb?
Yeah, right at the bottom there.
I wish I could get rid of this stupid thing. But you see right there? Okay, let's see if
Yeah,
I can
no, you
get rid
can
of the
see it
cubes there.
very clearly.
If you can see that orb.
Yeah.
Okay, that's definitely an orb. It kind of just popped. Okay, so that's that thing. Now let me go to that. I took, like I said, that wasn't in the forest. That was a few years ago, and I had no idea what the hell it was, but I now know it was an orb. So let me show you the pictures. Okay. Okay, here we go. This one is this is a blue face. Very
Wow.
hard
Yeah,
not to
it's
see.
just kind of like on the side. Hey, that's wonderful.
Can you see
Look
that
at
blue
that.
face?
Yeah.
That's an andromenon. That's a little blue andromenon boy. Okay,
That's
so that's
beautiful.
that.
Look
All
at
right.
him. He's gorgeous.
He is. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. If people want to know who that is, that's my son. That's my andromenon half-breed son. That I didn't know I had until this year. Uh, so for all of those who don't think you have children, you might have children on another planet. You just never know. All
Who
right, here we
knows?
go. Who knows? All right, this is a dragon. And I'm going to bring it. This is in my forest here, south of Boston. I don't live in the city. I live in the burbs along the ocean, south shore of Boston. There's a dragon.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You've even got the
And as you can
blue nearly
see,
all the
the
way
blue
around.
around him. Yeah, you can see the eyes. See the
Yeah.
eyes, the nose, and you can see, and there's all the blue around him. So there's the dragon. All right. So there we have that one. All right. Then these are two, and I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're pixies or what they are, but I think they could either be pixies or they could be fairies. And I really have to blow them up. I surrounded them. I circled them so you could see it, but I'm going to bring them up. So this one, oh shoot,
Look
you
at
can see it.
that
This one
face.
right here. This one is kind of like you can see the outline. It's like sitting. See how you can
Yeah.
see it's the outline of a person? Let's see if I can do shit. All right, so this one is like facing me. You can see the outline of a person. And this one, you can see that. Look at, you can see, can you see the face? See the
Yeah.
arms? I almost think that's something surrounding it too. Like there's another one, and there's another one here. So there's one here. There's actually one in the middle here. So there's one person here. And these are tiny. These are in the leaves. I had to blow these up, okay? That's how tiny they are. So there's one person here. And there's actually a person right here sitting. It's like, it almost looks like a woman sitting, and she's sitting and her back's to you. So there's someone right here. And then this one's very, very clear. You can see the face, you can see the arms, and you can see the legs. Look at that. I know. Unbelievable. I didn't even know that
That's
these existed.
incredible.
Yeah. I'm going back to my email. Here's a bigger, I don't know, I kind of surrounded. This is the one that was her, like, for some reason, it seems to me like it looks like a woman with a bun in her hair and she's sitting backwards. This is like a leaf right here. It's almost like she's sitting backwards, but it looks like a tiny person.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely see the face at the top. I think
Mm-hmm.
the main thing that I'm kind of picking up on here are the faces, and I've got a feeling that that larger face when in the last one I've got that he's more of a guardian.
Oh,
When I was just asking and tuning in, I kind of got that he's a guardian of some description. I'm asking for further clarity. But that's why it's kind of more of that older kind of face as well. You do get guardians of the forest, or sometimes you get guardians of a particular tree. Yeah, I'm definitely. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's a guardian. I just got my shoulder pushed. Thank you.
they did that. Yeah. And there's like, you can see one right here. Like you can see that this one looks male to me. I'm going to bring this closer. Like this one right here. Like you can see
Yeah.
this one, obviously, right here. This one looks like male to me. I don't know why. It's just, you can see
Yeah.
it's the
No,
outline of a person. Just
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Lulu Bell says one
No,
looks
you've
like a
got some
queen fairy.
amazing shots.
All right, sorry, I keep on
I
going
mean,
back. Oh, here's
look,
the one that's really, look at that face. You can't not see that face. Look at
yeah.
that. What is
Uh,
that? Is that a dwarf?
to me, that's kind of like a gnome dwarf kind of, yeah, absolutely. You've got more of a male energy coming off that. But
Look
yeah,
at
what did
him.
Lulabelle say? Yeah, looks like a queen fairy surrounded by a group of other elementals. Well, you are the queen of the elementals, my dear Lulabelle. So there we go.
But look at, there's a dwarf here, but look at, there's also something green. Look at that flying above him. See that? See the green?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they have smaller creatures. You know what we were saying earlier, with the dragons, and they utilize the dragons, but there are also the insects that they use, and there are other creatures that they also kind of work with and use. So it could be one of the, let's just say, the transport. It could be
Okay.
it's the only way I can describe it. I don't mean any disrespect to any other creature. Um, but yeah,
It looks
it
like
could
a
it
small
could be. It
pterodactyl.
could be.
It almost looks like a small pterodactyl. But yeah, it's definitely something small flying, and it looks kind of humanoid, kind of looks, but
Yeah,
you can't miss that face. That's a big fat face.
it's there.
Kind of like
Yeah,
when I saw
you
him.
can't miss it.
Unbelievable. Let me see if I have anything else. Yeah, that's just the same dude. I mean, look at him. Look at him. It's definitely a man.
I kind of get a bit more of a male. I think they're also linked to the owls as well. I don't know. I'm getting a link to owls. I don't quite know why, but I'm getting
Maybe because they're
owl.
wise, old and wise like an owl. He has big eyes
Yeah,
like an owl.
yeah, I'm
Let me see
getting
what else
owl.
do I have. Here's a fairy. You can see the outline of it, the blue. See? Look at,
Very clearly. Look at that. She's dancing.
yeah. And you can see the wings and see how she's blue. I mean, you
Oh,
can't miss
that's
that one. She's like, doo-doo-doo, she's doing a little
beautiful.
pirouette.
Oh, yeah,
She's doing a little pirouette.
that's gorgeous.
Yep.
Is it?
I used to dance too. I used to do, believe it or not, folks, I used to do ballet. I was going to be a ballerina, and then my boobs grew in, and my dance teacher said, "Oh no, she can't be a ballerina with those boobs. She's going to give herself two black eyes." But I used to
No.
dance, believe it or not. Oh, that's the same one. Okay, I think here's the last one. Oh, and that's just that's the orb, which I'll do again. Here, we'll do it again.
Oh
Here
no,
we go.
that's a wonderful day. I love seeing those. That's incredible. Really,
Here it
really
is
great.
again. Beep, beep. Here's the orb. Someone said that's not an orb. I'm like, no, that's an orb. I actually blew it up, and I blew it up, and I slowed down the video, and I blew it up, and I blew it up, and if I blew it up, so it was really, really close, and it was magnificent. It looked like an atom. It was all sparkly. It was all sparkly, and it was swirling, and it just looked magical. I'm like, that's an orb. That's an orb.
And
The
yeah,
closer it
even if
got,
it was
more
one of those
magical.
things on the phone, it'd be like really tiny, wouldn't it? But that was a decent size, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone's like, oh no, that's no orb. I'm like, are you serious? Oh, shut up. That's an orb. That's an orb. So, like I said, that happened, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I never knew what it was, but I kind of think it was Adam London. He was probably trying to get my attention then, and I didn't know who he was or what the deal was.
Yep. Yeah, well, I said they've been around for a lot longer, hey. So, yeah, we just didn't know. But
Yeah. So
until
that's
that
some
forest,
of
and
that.
we heard that drum beat.
Exactly, exactly. So folks, you just never know. You go into the forest, you bring your sugar, you bring your little snacks, you bring sugary sweets. You tell them you're there, and it doesn't matter where you are. Whenever you feel the urge, the intuition to take a pic, you take a pic, then you blow it up, and you'll be amazed at what you find.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone saw the little shorts I have with the, with the red and the blue orbs that I get when I call out a mundane in the forest. That's actually I have those videos on my channel. So if you go to the shorts on this channel, you can see the videos of the blue orb and the red orb.
They're wonderful. So
Yeah.
wonderful.
So, Azria, this has been another phenomenal show. Again, folks, if you want to get your level 1 mini alien DNA reading with the pink lady herself, Azria, in the description of the show, I did a link. Make sure you get it in by Friday. They go quick, so order it quick, order it fast. We will see you on Sunday. I will be doing a psychic live probably tomorrow. Say Wednesday. I'll either do it tomorrow or Friday. I'll have to see how I feel. So look for the thumbnail. I might be doing a show on Saturday. We'll see. I might be going on with Zara. I was supposed to go on with Zara last Saturday, and she fell asleep, and she put on her alarm, and she put it on silent. And then she woke up an hour later. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. It wasn't meant to be. So we will do a show at some point. She's 7 hours ahead of me in Israel, in Jerusalem. So it's very hard to kind of figure out. So I thought it was hard enough with the 5 hour time zone difference, but she's a whole 7 hours. So and I told her, I said, listen, she goes, when do you do your Saturday Night Lives? I said, at 8 p.m., but that's 3 o'clock in the morning for you. She said, no, I'll be up. And I'm like, no, you won't. Yes, I will. Didn't work out. So we shall see. We might have to tape it ahead of time. All righty. So
I'll
thank
look
you
forward to
again,
it.
Miss Azria. Yes, we will see you either tomorrow night or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Look for the thumbnails. And until then, I'm sending you so much love. And yeah, God bless. Bye,
Wonderful.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.